Yeah, I bet my build-off's in different shape than yours. Here, walk with me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get my gloves on.
I'll show you ours if you show me yours. That's the build-off.
There she is. There she is. Oh, no.
We just wanted to give you a shout, say what up, see how you're doing. 1 week out, check in.
I feel like we've come a long ways. All right, here we are. Check these out. So now I'm going to go over and I'm going to hack up the front fairing. Yep, I'm going to carve up the front fairing. We'll try and get that mocked up. We got a ways to go. So does Blockhead. You saw from the FaceTime when he just hit us up, he tore his whole motor down trying to get the compression down because he's trying to run some crazy boost. I'm going to cut up the fairing and we'll go from there.
We can't put the fairing on until we get the clutch cable.
Oh man, that's a funkin' son of a beeswax.
Isn't that?
I'm gonna cut these off right here. Leave this, let this wrap around just to open the trees, the tubes up more. And then this is where the old glove box used to be, which man, I did love that glove box, but we just couldn't run it because of where the handlebars lined up. So we're gonna get rid of most of this stuff in here. I'm gonna cut this out, cut a lot of this stuff out of here actually, and kind of go from there. I just cut them dudes straight off and call it good. Although, God, I'd have to really take this thing apart. I think she's all the way up in there. It's part of the framework. Then I'm not going to have this inner support right here, but I will. Oh, come on, baby. Woo, I'm going down dangerous roads right now. This was June's idea, everybody, if it goes wrong. Woo! She's held together with heavy glue, brother. Yes. Oh, good job, Juniper. Look at that. Didn't have to cut shit, it's just gone. Now, get rid of these poor little guys. Man, this glove box was the dopest thing on this bike too. I absolutely loved it, but can't have it with the old T-bar skis. I'm gonna buzz these corners out right here and just kind of have this all open. I gotta keep this guy because this is how you upgrade the firmware, and if you need to download anything for the computer in the bike, this is very handy. So we'll just keep him kind of tacked up in here a little bit. But I think I'm just gonna hack this off and then smooth it out with the old sanding machine. This is going a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. I'm gonna cut these off first just so I got more room in here. And that's what I actually started out to do in the first place and got ADD sidetracked on another quest. That's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to go left-handed. I think I'm done. I cut all this stuff out, make things open, pretty, all that good shit. I'm hoping you can't really see up in there because it's just cut out. I need to bring the bike down, mock it up on the trees, get that shit lined up. But first I need to set the neck bearings. I don't have the fairing on to do that, which is gonna be kind of weird. I'm gonna drop her down, set the neck bearings as best I can, and go from there. Oh, I don't have a fucking wrench to do that though either. We just realized with these brackets that I need to move this one down an inch right here to get it to match up, or we could move the fairing up an inch. So we can do a Street Glide fairing lift. First time ever. Ever. Never heard of it done. That's good. Oh my God, that's gonna look amazing. Should it look really stupid or really badass? Never before seen. Straight accident, yeah. It just happened to work out to be this awesome. It's definitely higher. Oh my God. Let's just shove the outer on real quick and see what it looks like. Just get her started. Man, look how open it is in the back. Man, that's a fairing lift on a 24 Street Glide. Let's pull a fairing off. I want to stick that plastic thing in there and take a look both ways.
Man, it looks good without it though. Like where you could see the bottom tree.
If this was like rounded off and looking good, we put a cap in that or something.
Yeah.
I want to put it on and see it because those little windshields are real nice. Do you see how it's pulling the plastic thing down that we just put under there? Because it has to stay down with the tree because it goes under and cups the tree, so it's pulling it down.
Oh.
I think that thing should go. It definitely looks better without it. Man, I hate to give up those little windy blockers, but these work so good. When you pop these out like this, boom, and this vent's closed, windless.
This also seals off the bottom part of your fairing though. Like the fairing's open without it. This whole piece would go away down here.
If we got caught in some shitty rainstorm, that'd fucking suck, but it'd suck no matter what. I think it just looks like shit like that though. Here, let's pop it off. Off she goes. Good morning. It is Monday morning, December, I don't know, because my watch is dead. I've been moving all weekend. I don't have any of my stuff. We are, riding to Texas in 3 days. We're gonna ride 1,000 miles in 3 days. This is where the bike is right now. I'm gonna give you guys a quick update. If you don't know what you're watching, this is Kruesi Originals. This is the great Harley Davidson YouTube build off. It's us versus Blockhead Moto, brought to you by the one and only Harley Davidson. And we are getting this done and riding to Texas from Phoenix, Arizona, where we are on Thursday of this week. Right now it's Monday. We ride out Thursday. We're gonna ride 500 miles a day, hopefully get there by Friday evening. And then we are doing a show there Saturday. That will be the final for the build-off where everybody gets to pick who wins, calls the winner. Hopefully us, come out, vote for us. And we're gonna do stunt shows. We're gonna ride some stunt shows on this. We're gonna do a bunch of wild stuff. It's gonna be crazy. But here's where we are. Walk with me. I got excited and did a bunch of stuff. Took the fairing off and we had the trees and we had most of this was done and ready to go. And then I hate how the gas tank normally stops right here and you have all this wiring, this like wad of wiring and shit on both sides of the bikes. Since we got rid of the ABS, we got rid of all those brake lines that go back, which come over the other side, you get a better idea. This used to be 3 ABS brake lines ran up through here, and then this wiring harness runs down the side of the gas tank up through here, and then all this shit. So you got a wiring harness, a whole bunch of stuff on the side of the neck. I hate that. So we drilled into the neck here, we tapped it, depinned all the wiring, ran that through the neck, brought it out the front of the neck out here. So this stuff will be hidden because the fairing mounts start right here. And this will be a nice naked gas tank. Also, this was the old steering locks. This used to stick out like this. I cut these off so I could get more steering angle out of the bike for drifting. Then we repainted the neck, did all that. Got to put all that stuff back together today because I need at least 1 day of test riding and at least 1 day of, oh God, I have to fix this before we hit the road because man, if something happened, that would be so tragic. Back half is mostly done. The bags are off because we got to change the tire. The back tire is toast. We still need to change the tire and we'll be going from there. Here is the stock clutch. She's a little cooked. It was still working, but 6th gear was slipping really, really bad. And you can see it's been burned up pretty bad. This bike makes 202 horsepower. So a stock clutch to have lasted as long as it did, that's pretty damn impressive. It goes to show that I don't care how much power your 107's making, you really don't need a clutch unless you like the way they ride. That's about it, because they'll hold up. For me, I would have switched it out anyways because I hate having a judder spring. I hate having that slipness. I don't like the way a stock clutch rides. They feel a little limp. I like my clutch to just smack. The stock Harley clutch is made to slip, so it's a smooth engagement all the time for like Dr. Bob and Dolores to cruise up to the hideaway. They want that smooth, easygoing time for that once a month ride. But the guy that wants to smack tires and fucking light fires, you need a real clutch in there and you need a chain drive. So we are doing that right now. Trent is actually working on running some data logs on his bike because his bike also has to be ready to ride because he's riding that out to Texas. Once he gets done with that, he is putting in this bad boy. This is Rekluse's new clutch pack. This is not their automatic clutch. This is like a straight up clutch pack with some crazy shit in it though. Like this thing is so high tech. I don't know much about it. I need to do a little more reading. I know Blockhead just put one in and we're basically using his video as a how-to video, a little competition. But you see the clutch packs aren't lined up right now. They're just in here. It goes friction steel, but you see how many there is? In a stock Harley Davidson, there's 9 to 10 clutch plates. Here, there's a whole bunch of them. It's just more grabbing surface. So you get, you know, a whole shitload more bang for your buck without having to have a whole bunch of pull up in the handle. It's still supposed to be still soft in the handle and smooth. According to Rekluse, I have never ran a Rekluse clutch before. This will be our first time. I've heard a lot of good stuff from the moto world about them. I don't know much about them in the Harley world, so this is just gonna be us trying out something new and something really aggressive because this motor is extremely aggressive. So once Trent gets done click-clacking on that, he's gonna walk you through putting this dude in right here, and I gotta go do a bunch of click-clacking computer work myself, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, so I'm at the point of installing this Rekluse clutch where we have to pull the ring gear off the stock hub. And by doing that, you need to drill out the heads of these bolts and then tap these rivets through the back. You don't want to drill through this side because you don't want to waller out these holes because you're going to put new rivets back in there. So drill the heads out, pop the rivets out, and continue with the install. We have a drill press. You could do it with a hand drill. It's just a little more tedious and sketchy. It helps to have the right tools. Wear safety glasses too. Safety glasses, the safety squints. I'm just gonna keep going, drilling out the heads, and I'm gonna punch the rivets through the back. I was getting a lesson on brunch. Once you drill the heads out of the bolts, should look something like that. Okay. I already punched one out, so take a punch, hammer, and you'll feel it pop through. And there she is. That's what you want, just fresh holes, nothing all wallered out crazy, you know? Ah.
How come you had to drill it out before if you were just going to punch it out anyway?
Because the way these bolts, like they sit over, you wouldn't be able to punch them through, you know what I mean? When you drill the head of the bolt off, you're relieving the pressure of the stud. So like it like eases up in the hole so you can like get it out. Yeah, I'm also kind of moving pretty quick because we have this bike to finish, which take a little gander. That thing needs to be done. And I still have to do work on mine, and I'm still waiting on parts for mine. So I'm just trying to hustle. Ryan's getting a bunch of videos done so you guys can see all the cool shit we do. We're moving today. Done. Off. Ring gear. Now I'm going to go back to the instructions and do some reading. So we're gonna press the bearing into the clutch basket. I have the bearings sitting in the freezer right now, and I'm gonna heat up the basket a little bit. Cold bearing. Now you're supposed to press against the numbers. Usually the bearings will have numbers on the outside of them. These don't have numbers, so I'm gonna just pick my favorite side to press on. I think I like this side. And then just find something that can press on the outside of the bearing. We have a bunch of random shit. They make tools for this. So actually, I'm gonna take this back out of here and do this a little different. I like tapping it in instead of using the press, because when you tap it in, you could kind of guide it where you want it to go, and you could get it to go flush. So you wanna make sure it goes down straight. Okay, she's going down pretty fucking straight and smooth. This little thing that I'm using is actually pretty nice because you could just hit like the top of these guys and kind of just walk her in nice and smooth. And once it's like, I mean, I could have done this like sooner, but once she's pretty much like in her home, then you can take it to the press and let the press do its job. Now I need to find something that's like just the outside diameter of the bearing so I could press it in the rest of the way. It's still got probably a 1/4 inch to go. That looks just about right. Holy shit, we have something. Okay, and then you can kind of feel it like, so I like using my thumb on the last little bit of it because you could feel when it bottoms. When you have this big leverage and you're going, you can't really feel when it bottoms, and then you could blow through the clutch hub. Ask me how I know. I've seen Ryan do it a couple times. Oh, just kidding. There's still more of this to go. So if you look on this side, you can kind of see this is the lip that the bearing sits against. And you can kind of see like a gap when it's not fully seated, because you want to reveal that little ring that's in there. That's where the retaining ring sits. So you want to give it a couple taps and then double check everything, because you don't want to blow through this. Once you blow through this, I mean, obviously it's smoked, so you want to be very careful in this process. There you go. You can kind of hear it too, the tone change, when it like butts up against something solid. Okay, I think we're good there. And we get the retaining ring. Come with me this way. Okay, and then they include their own snap ring with it. Boom, by hand you can snap that fucker in there. And then you want to make sure that it's seated all the way around. Grab like a screwdriver or something, you could push down on this and you'll hear it click in, or you could just kind of look at it and see that it's sitting in a groove. She's on. Now we get to mate the basket to the ring gear. This is the basket and this is the ring gear. These are the friction plates. You'll notice there's way more than 9 or 10 of them that come in normal Harley Davidson clutches. There's like 30 of these. Ryan tells me that it helps promote clutch engagement without having a super heavy lever. These are the steel plates that go in between the friction plates. This is the hub. Yeah, it definitely looks crazy. This is the pressure plate that houses the springs and the screws for the clutch. This is the clutch basket that holds everything that we just went over. This is the ring gear that actually drives the clutch and drives your motor and drives your rear wheel and drives your starter. This is the starter ring gear, this is the drive. So the drive is connected to the compensator. This is just sitting back there for when the starter comes out and engages, it turns everything over and starts your bike.
Placeable sliders that the clutch slides in.
Are they really?
So when you're,
because they beat the shit
yeah,
out
you know,
of
like
the
your
Harley
clutch
one.
hubs, a normal clutch hub, the teeth, when this stuff bangs back and forth, see these teeth right here? When you're banging gears and dumping the clutch and all that stuff, on a normal clutch, these start beating a notch into where they ride inside the hub. And when that notch gets in there, these won't slide up and down easily like they should when you engage and disengage the clutch, so they start catching. That's when you start cooking clutches and stuff, because your hub starts getting beat up, and the basket will start getting beat up too. But these dudes, instead of replacing the whole entire basket, it looks like you could just replace these shafts right here, which feel like hardened steel anyways. So if this even does wear out a notch, you would replace them instead of buying a whole new basket. Hopefully, I'm assuming, honestly, just by the looks of it. And it's also tooled steel, so it's probably not going to wear like a billet basket would normally. So that right there is pretty goddamn fancy. And everything is a lot thinner, but you have a whole lot more friction surface when you have more friction plates. So it should have a lot more bite with a lot less spring, hopefully. Just stopping by.
Ryan stopped
I really
by.
wanted to see this clutch. I'm really excited about this. This looks really sick. I'd much rather be putting this in than working on a f***ing computer right now. Ooh, man. Well, looks alone, I think Rekluse looks probably like the baddest f***ing clutch on the market right now, because I've never seen anything that looks like this. And those aren't press. Are those press fit still?
I don't know if they, I'm about to find out. I think they press and then bolt, but I'm not sure. The clutch is shouldered though for these.
Lock them in place.
Yeah.
Man, look what they got, like the names lasered in each little part numbers. I think it's the part numbers lasered into the hardware. So if you lose one, you can go, I need no idea what I need because I lost the and I don't know what the part number is. But you know what I'm saying.
I do like this design over the other clutches that you can get.
You just bolt into the ship.
Yeah, they just like, they require you to drill out these to a bigger size bolt, and then you just through bolt and nut the back. I don't know. It works. They've worked forever, but I kind of like this design a little bit better. Okay, so all those go in there. I have them all, you know, my little bit of OCD that I have facing the same way. Then you come back here, thread on some nuts, and these go to 80 inch-pounds. I am actually reading the instructions, yeah. Shit like this, I mean, like a fairing, you know, like you could figure it out as you're going through it. You kind of see what bolts go where, like, oh man, I put that in the wrong spot. But shit that goes inside the motor and is running, read the instructions. Even if you've done 100 clutch hubs like I have, just read it. I've never done a Rekluse though, I will say that. But a Harley Davidson clutch is a Harley Davidson clutch. They're all kind of the same. Okay, I'm gonna take a lunch break. We're all gonna take a lunch break actually. But I got the basket torqued to the ring gear. Everything's all installed and torqued. 80 inch-pound on all these guys. Star pattern, once all the way around, blah, blah, blah. Okay, where am I? Got the compensator torqued. I'm gonna put the clutch hub together. I'm not gonna put this nut on until I have the plates in the clutch, because then it helps lock the hub down so I can actually get a torque on it. Because trying to hold this with your hand and torque that to 80 foot-pounds is a bitch. I need to put these fancy doodads in here. They call them basket sleeves. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I've never done this before, but I have the instructions, so never fear. The instructions are here. So they go with the tabs facing in and they slide in right there, right? Oh yeah, pop, and then they just pop right in. That's cool. I think these are for the ears on these clutch plates. These are soaking in oil, so like it's where they sit. And the pressure plate's gonna go in front of it, so they're not gonna go anywhere. But I think these are just like preventative measures for what Ryan was talking about, how like the ears of the clutch plates themselves beat up the basket. So it probably just kind of helps protect the basket and the clutch plates, would be my professional guess. It's nice, they just like pop right in there. It's like it was made for it. It's satisfying when they like clip in there, like you hear them. Okay, install the clutch pack. So start with the friction, right? Hang on, let me make sure. Sometimes they make you start with a steel, which never made sense to me, but starts with the steel, ends with the steel. Oh wow, these are gonna be a f***ing pain in the ass, aren't they? Oh, joyful, just wonderful. Hopefully with one in there, it kind of holds the clips in place. You really need to make sure it goes in straight for this, or else the pins get very upset and hold the clutch up.
Keep fucking tension on them.
Well, yeah, they keep, yeah. I'm sure there's a really good point for them, but goddamn, they make putting this shit in a bitch. Time to put the pressure plate on. Yeah, look at that. That looks fucking awesome. And then we are gonna do an alternate setup of red and silver springs. So it says in the install manual there that the stock clutch is rated for up to 125 foot-pounds of torque. This is sitting at about 180. 189, sorry. We're gonna alternate the spring heavy and I'd say like soft on their other spring, but because Ryan likes a nice easy clutch pull for the arthritis that's going on in his arm. I hear that happens when you get old. So we're gonna alternate the clutch springs.
You're only heading one direction too, you know.
Yeah, but I got many moons. Many moons before I arrive at that destination. I'm just getting them all started right now, because when you go put the pressure plate on, you don't want to just go like wrap in a circle. You want the plate to seat nice and even, not like all fucking cockeyed and weird. So I'm just getting them started, getting a little bit of pressure on the spring, and then when I go to install, we'll seat the plate nice and even. I've seen dudes put them on with a gun. I'm not really a fan of that. I like to hand tool this kind of thing. Does it take a little bit longer? Yeah, but I like peace of mind. So yeah, I'm gonna get this guy in and we'll check back in from there. Torque these guys to 9 foot-pounds once they're all seated nice and gentle. Beep. Go once all the way around, make sure you didn't forget anything. Just put the stock adjuster plate back in there. This sets your free play for your clutch. Putting the cover back on. I did finish my fat bob. I know that kind of got left, you know, it got kind of put aside because we needed to rush and finish Ryan's, which is nowhere near being finished right now. There's no tank on it, there's no front end on it. But this is the Fat ST, Advan black, fairing and lowers on. I got the wheels on, which I'm super stoked about, Speedwell supplied bags. I'll do a walk around when we're done with it, but right now it's making a really bad noise at the clutch hub. Like when it's idling, it just sounds like the clutch hub's beating itself apart. And these have like, if you look in here, come over here, Rat Meow. Right here, there's like little spaces and like the pressure plate kind of like, I don't know, it almost kind of acts like a compensator, right? It's got like a ramp that kind of like has some give in the clutch hub. We have one tore apart. See how it kind of clocks in there? And there's like room for the shit to like move. So it kind of just sounds like it's doing this the whole time while it's running. So I put the power plate from Trask in there just to kind of like hopefully remedy that, make it a little stronger and hold it together a little bit more is my thought. But I'm also gonna pop all this shit loose and re-torque the compensator and the clutch hub while I have it apart, because I have to ride this thing 1,000 miles and I don't want it to beat itself up and be stranded in the middle of nowhere somewhere on I-10 in New Mexico, because I hate New Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico. We put the Rekluse clutch all the way back in. One thing I didn't mention during the install, their instruction manual is really good. Like these are probably some of the best instructions I've ever read through. Like fueling has really good instructions with like the pictures and like what you're doing and why you're doing it, what could happen if you don't do it, you know what I mean? This has the same. It's got pictures, there's little tips and tricks and, you know, on how to drill all this shit out, because you do have to drill your old hub and take some shit apart. It's pretty intimidating if you don't know what you're doing, but this instruction manual makes it a whole lot easier. Shout out to Rekluse.
I'm back. I'm back on the program. I was doing a lot of computer work. I think I'm done with it now, but it's like 2 o'clock. That gives us about 3 hours to finish this bike. So we can ride tomorrow. I want to ride tomorrow before I ride to Texas. Okay. We're gonna put some trees on. I think we're ready. We get some grease and hammer up the inside for me.
I probably put way too much grease on my finger.
Oh, that's good. Get her good. Yep.
We picked this guy up on the street.
He
looked lost, like a lost puppy. So we threw him in the bed of the truck and drove him to work this morning.
They kidnapped me.
He behaves really well. He's potty trained. You need help there?
I'm taking it right to the edge. Might have to crank that bad boy up. I'm running out of ass thrust room right here. I think I just about sucked my dick up in the fender there. rolled the tire forward a little too aggressively. Not enough room in there. Almost. Yep. Stop right there. Throw the top bearing on. If you guys don't know who Gino is, Gino Leonati. Lino Giannotti. Is that what it is on Instagram?
Lino Giannotti.
Lino Giannotti. Yeah, spell that one.
My initials backwards.
He's been stunt riding with us since he was about 18 years old. Got real good at it, and then got a job riding for King Tony in the Bust Knuckle Stunt Tour. Been doing that for some years now. On tour, professional stunt rider. Raised by Ryan Kruesi.
This is Papa right here.
Where's your top tree?
Right here?
Ah!
Flip her the other direction. Other way, 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 other way. This way. Bring her home, Gino. Oh, that's a lot. It's aggressive.
She's almost there.
Give her this way a little bit.
Look at that, like a glove.
Smack her down over yonder. Oh, let the jack down. That would work. Just blowing out my thighs here. Okay. Did you get it?
Yeah. My arm got locked up on me right there.
Got some arm pump going.
Yeah, looks pretty dialed. In order to set the neck bearings though, I'm gonna have to break these things loose and then we have to reset all that shit up again.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. That takes a couple extra minutes. So our nut was manufactured at an 1 inch and 9/16, which is a size, but it's not a size anyone uses on anything. So this is gonna get changed to 1.5 inches like any normal stem nut would be. Get wore out there or what?
A little bit. I'm like leaning up.
Is that a 1/2 inch or a 3/4?
3/4.
Big muff, huh? When you're setting up some neck bearings, one of your trees has to be loose. One has to be tight because when you set the neck bearings, the stem's moving, so the trees need to be able to move. The tubes need to be able to move in the trees when it gets pulled tighter and so forth and so on. But so he's breaking these loose so we can just drop the top tree down onto the bottom tree. Neck bearings feel real loose still. This feels real tight. This is spinning. The press fit is clearly not press fit enough. These are a prototype set of trees. That's why we're testing them. This needs to be tighter for sure. And the stem length needs to change a little bit too, because that is also bottoming it out. And I'm probably have to need open this up with the lathe just a little bit bigger. By a little bit, I mean bigger than the tools I have. And just gotta let it rotate and sandwich them here. All right, she's loose. 3 swing is what people is the spec. You're supposed to let go and it go 1, 2, 3 times. I feel like that's too loose on a bagger. It makes them feel like they're coming apart in the middle. I set them up pretty tight. I mean, it's got some give. It's still pretty tight though. All right, I just torqued these down super tight, and now I'm gonna back them off and I'm gonna set it from there because I kinda wanna make sure everything's seated really well. This is about factory. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's actually perfect. That's factory spec. I don't want it that loose. Goes 1. Yeah, she's like a one swing away. I back it off just a tiny bit. You also should have like all the weight of everything on it, because the weight gives it a little more swing. So here's where we're at. Trees are on. This shit is set. I gotta torque everything up. I'm kind of final assembling everything right now. I had to take 1/8 of an inch off the bottom of this nut because they machined everything like to precision, but it needs gap space to actually be able to torque down. So they had machined it butt tight. I had to take 1/8 of an inch off just so it had room to compress. Now everything compresses, sets the bearings, everything's dialed. I'm gonna drill and tap 1/4 so I can set a little P-clamp down right here. Run some wires up in there nice and neat. This way, this is pretty much all I'll have. I'll have brake lines, but they're gonna go down fancy. I'm gonna have to drill and P-clamp those too, but I gotta figure out some routing. I got them a little bit too long. I'm gonna hide some under the fairing, it should be good. I got a new clutch cable, which Fat Baggers is the company, I think. We got them out of Drag Specialties. We will have these clutch cables now available on KruesiOriginals.com. They are sick as a muff. They have the adjuster to adjust your motherfucking clutch right there. Why do they not have that on all Harley Davidsons? But one of the coolest looking cables I've seen. Haven't used it yet. It just looks dope. I'm gonna put this together. I'm gonna drill. And then we gotta make brake lines look good. Yeah, the drill bit is a little dull, it seems like. This is the best shop tool I've ever bought. Milwaukee vacuum, look at this. Just takes battery, got all the adapters in there. I use this thing all over my shop all the time. It's an expensive vacuum, but if you're doing this kind of stuff, it's the shit. Look what I just cleaned up right there. That stuff's not all over my bike. Boom, love it. I think it's on Amazon. I'll try and find a link. If I can, I'll put the link down in the description down below. I hear Trenton pulling up with the new Nightster. Not my Nightster, but another Nightster. What will he do next? This clutch cable, if it works good, I'm pretty excited about it because it's pretty badass. Forgot my regular pocket knife at home, so I'm using this one. Friend Chris Barden made this for me out of a Harley Davidson brake rotor, and it's sharp. Really makes me want to try and make a knife. Man, look at this thing. It's all like machined, stainless, and this right here, this goes in your clutch handle. This, you can adjust the free play. Dude, right here, this is amazing. This is what Harleys should have had all along. I'm really excited about this. So we're gonna put it on, really dope looking part. How are we gonna run it? That is a badass looking clutch cable. This part. Do we have to do something with that?
I mean, this is the adjuster. Like part of the top of the auto adjuster, you know?
Maybe the auto adjust goes away.
Like maybe that just sits, maybe that...
Man, I really hope it doesn't get rid of the auto adjust because I like that a lot. We are trying to get the clutch cable on and get it hooked up. It gets rid of the auto adjust, which sucks. I like the auto adjust. We'll just set her up like old school. It will be really nice to have this adjustment up here kind of on the fly when you're doing stunt shows and stuff and your clutch starts getting hot, starts getting a little loose. You got to tighten it up sometimes. That's nice to have. Getting to the changer behind the turbo is a muff. Let me tell you, it's not easy. At least it looks like it's not easy because I've just been watching. Man, I wish Elite would make levers for this already.
All right, can you push? Yep, push down. Is that as far down as she goes?
Button up against something, it feels like.
There we go. Oof.
Do you get it?
You know, I'm surgical with this shit.
It's got a metal sleeve now.
Yeah.
So there's no adjustment there at all
No,
anymore. She just locked
here.
up.
That's your adjuster.
All right, I like that. I need a Christmas tree. Can you look in your toolbox and see if you got any?
You couldn't find one in here? I
No.
swore I saw some.
You know, sometimes we see the things we want to. Oh, yes. This is so nice. Boop. Popped, dialed.
Sometimes we just don't look hard enough.
You find them? Where?
They were in that box. I had to dig around. It was probably the last one in there, but I found one.
Should we redo this down at the old crankster down there? Man, that thing's adjusting out quite a bit.
I did it to whatever Rekluse recommends.
It's firm. Feels better than what I had in there. It's got that like ramp out, you know, like how the Mueller does. Feels good. It's 2 fingers for sure. I prefer to just 1 finger, like drifting. This is a lot of arm pump right here, but she feels pretty good. Bop. It'll bang some tires. Got spoiled with that auto adjust. Fancy. The missing piece right here. This is important. These are all things that you got to pay attention to when you're building a motorcycle such as this. You want to make sure that when you're running your cables, they look good, number 1. The routing is clean. That they route clean. This one is a little bit long. Do we have time to get one shorter? Definitely don't. And it's going to go down into the fairing like this. So this will all be turning radius. And I'm going to bring it up because if I leave it here, it's going to get pinched. And I'm going to be smacking this. Wop, 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 wop. Drifting, slapping right onto the rails right there. So I'm going to stick her up here all awkward like. I'm going to leave it loose so it can just flop around in there like a little guide. Look at how good that looks right now, huh? And then the fairing, squeeze that thing, Trent. Tell me if it feels like shit now. Oh, I should have lubed that cable. Amateur move right there. Oh, that thing's gonna get hit still. It's like right in the path of that cocksucker. Tommy went down the street and got me some alternative lines. Went a little bit shorter, routed them a little bit nicer. Thankfully, Ramjet, the guys down the street, had them in stock. Not the same brand I wanted to use, but still a good brand. I like that they have just silver braided now instead of like that wannabe try to look like chrome shit, you know? Yeah, look at that. Like 2 mates in a pod. So I'm going for the bottom first, I think.
Okay.
Hold on, don't move. Don't you down. Whoa. Whoa, don't try and put it on. I just want to get this one bolted. You. Rotate it my way. I should stay. I still gotta sand the bottoms off of these 2. I forgot about that. That's what we should have done in the first place. I thought this was gonna bolt up easy, but there's cables in the way, and it's the end of the day. It's late. Tired.
Oh, cat-like reflexes.
Like that across the body.
Be careful. Getting squirrely with that thing over there. And 10 snips. Inner fairing is on. She's all bolted up. Brake lines are bolted-ish. They need to be tightened down at the bottom banjos and bled. Clutch line is done. Gas tank needs to go on. A few more things to check, but it's like dark, something dark outside. And this day started at 4 a.m. So going home, gonna be back here probably really early in the morning to try and get all that done. Then spend the rest of the day riding the thing to get some miles on it to make sure there's nothing gonna go wrong on our 1,000-mile ride on a freshly built bike to Texas. Come see us, it's gonna be dope. I'm really tired, I'm going home. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, KruesiOriginals.com. You could win a Nightster from us, built. Peace. Psh.